Hello Flosstube, how are you? You have reached my channel. I'm Michelle. My channel name is Farm Girl. It's been a while since my last update and I have a few things to show you. Honestly, I have been doing so much for the getting ready for the retreat. I haven't been doing a lot of stitching, especially the last 2 weeks. So speaking of retreats, we have had a couple cancellations. So if you are interested, I'm going to give you a few retreat details. I have had 2 people this week message me. I've had no confirmations yet. So we have 2 spots, I believe, maybe a 3rd open because of cancellations. So retreat details. It is the Oakridge Conference Center in Chanhassen, Chanhassen, Minnesota. Beautiful area. It's on 125 acres. It's $400. It starts October. I think it's the 27th, which is Friday. I can't check because I'm using my phone. 27th, 28th, check out 29th. If that's that, it's the last Sunday or the last weekend in October. It's $400. Check-in is 2 p.m. Friday. Check-out 2 p.m. on Saturday. Friday we will have snacks and dinner served, and on Sunday you will get breakfast, a snack, lunch before you leave. We have a conference room that is all ours, and then we have a small classroom off to the side where we will have just a small project. What else can I tell you about it? The meals are amazing and they're all included. And we will also be doing a bonfire on Saturday night, weather permitting. And it is going to be cold in Minnesota. I mean, it can be. Sometimes it snows. I mean, you just never know. But it's going to be a good time. If it rains or something, obviously we won't have the bonfire. Cocktails welcome. And it's going to be a really good time. So drinks and everything and snacks are allowed in the room and in our stitching room. So one side, it's a big, huge conference center. One side is all conference rooms, and on the other side of the compound, because that's really what it is a compound, and that's kind of the hotel section where your rooms are. So they're very separate. You can come and go as you please. There's nothing super structured about this. We're just planning a few activities to make it more fun. We are going to take a little adventure to Stitchville, USA, which is I think it's Minnetonka. I can't remember if that's the city. It's across from Ridgedale Mall. It's about a 15-minute drive. We have had several offers from the locals. I mean, this is Minnesota. It's Minnesota nice here. We've had several offers from locals to pick people up at the airport. Joan and I will be picking people up from the airport. So if that's a concern of yours, we should be able to hook you up there. I've already connected a bunch of people. Coming early, staying late is an option. If you have any questions about it, and if you're interested, shoot me a message. I will link my Instagram and my email down below, along with I'm going to write this down, along with the link to the conference center, email, Instagram, and our Facebook group. Our Facebook group is midwestcrossstitchers, I believe. I'll link it below. And if you join the group, you can message. I believe you can message right through the group too. So feel free to contact me any of those ways if you have additional questions. I think I said it's $400. I mean, it's a bargain basement price for the weekend, and for what we have planned, it's going to be lots of fun. So I'm super looking forward to it. I'm getting really excited. Let's see, what else have I got going on? Farm news. Breeding season has started. I can't think if there's been... Trista, my doe, my last video that I told you about, healing really well. I'm seriously waiting for, she's got one piece. It's pretty hideous. I said she had gangrenous mastitis, and literally what happens is half of her udder died and is now sloughing off of her body, and it's the most rancid thing you've ever seen. And the smell is putrid. The whole barn smells like dead animal, because essentially that's what it is. It's dead tissue. There's a spot now about this big, and we're just waiting for that to completely heal and come off. But you have to keep in mind that it's like deep tissue, and it's like kind of in the center of her mammary. So it's a long time, but she is fat. She's the fattest she's ever been. She looks amazing. She's sweet. She's not sweet. She's not a sweet goat. She is the herd queen, and she's full of sass. And she's still full of sass. So I think she's feeling fine. My mother-in-law, her dog died last night. At about 10 o'clock, she called me. Her dog is also a littermate sister to our dog, Lucy, who's almost 15. And today, Lucy was wrestling with Duke and must have hurt something in her back. So it's not really looking good for her. She's not doing well. And tomorrow, she's going to go to the vet. And depending on how her night goes tonight, we may be saying goodbye to her tomorrow, which I'm kind of resigned to that. I mean, already, we kind of all do it. When she's sleeping really hard, we like watch her and, see if she's still breathing kind of thing. So not that it'll be a relief, but I don't intend to make her struggle either. So it's sad, but she's had a long life. I mean, 15 years is old for a dog. So other farm news, we may be having puppies. I guess I'll talk more about that when we confirm that. And I said breeding season has started. Breeding season means that bucks go in the rut just like deer do, and they smell putrid. They are the sweetest things ever, but when they go into the rut, they are foul, disgusting, smelly beasts. They have scent glands behind where their horns kind of on the top of their head. And it's like this musty, nasty smell that if you touch it, it gets on your hands and it like permeates everything. And then they pee all over themselves. I will insert a picture of Mo here. So this guy is close to 300 pounds if he doesn't top 300 pounds. That big beard is full of pee. They pee all over themselves. They have foul habits this time of year. He pees on himself so much that they usually get acid burn on their legs through the winter. For that reason, bucks don't live as long as does do, because going in and out of the rut like that is pretty stressful, as you can imagine. But that's what we need to make babies. We need bucks. So everything is going well. I've pimped him out to my BFF Larry's house, and he's over there breeding all of his girls because I have used him heavily the past 2 years. So this year Sly is getting a workout, and I also have another buck, Perry. Those are my Sonnen bucks, and I'm actually swapping. I have Larry's Nubian buck right now, so he's busy breeding. Although those dumb Nubians, they won't really let him. They love him and they rub up on him, but when they come into heat, they don't seem to want to stand for him. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't believe the things I have to do, and I won't share them with you because you'll unsubscribe. Anyways, I bred my first doe, which was Chloe, and Chloe's a 4-year-old. She's our top milk producing doe now. Trista was 5 months almost to the day we will be having our first set of kids. So I think it's like May 22nd or 23rd, or I'm sorry, February 22nd or 23rd, our first kids will be hitting the ground. And about the same time puppies would be ready. So, other news. Let's see. I actually took notes so I wouldn't forget. Eeks! Okay, so in my last video I said I hoped to get Scenic Farm done. I didn't. But I did put some stitches in it. I got a lot of sky done. And it's getting there. Still smells terrible. Actually smells a little better. Maybe got it aired out a little bit. But this is it, folks, right here. Oh, someday. It's getting there. Isn't it so pretty? I love it so much. Okay, so got some stitches in that one. Initially, I thought I'd wait until next year to work on that at the fair, but I don't think I'm going to let it dwindle around for that long. Okay, and I have been working on ABC Darien Summer Schoolhouse, and I've got number 1 done. Number 2, this is the second half of that. Sorry, one of my light bulbs burned out, so it's a little dim, but yeah, this is super fun. I'm still totally in love with this. Is this really telling me I have 3 minutes left? I have another finish. I think that's really pretty much all. I feel like this video is going to be super lame. I have another finish, which I'm just gonna, this one is Blackbird Design Casting a Spell. This one's super cute. I'll be honest, I don't know why. I do not like stitching these smalls. It's kind of annoying, and it felt like it took forever. But once I got them done, I loved it. And I did, it's pretty elementary. This is bookbinding board, kind of like a little bit thicker than like the back of notebooks. And I used just double-sided tape. It is that Stitchers tape. It's for stitching and embroidery, so I'm pretty sure it's acid-free and all that jazz. And I pulled the corners in first. I'll insert some pictures that I took. So I turned the corners in first, and then just kind of wrapped it around. It calls for 30 count, and I did do it on 30 count. And mine seems a little bit bigger. I don't know, and I suppose the boxes can vary a bit as well. But I still really like the way that it turned out. And I also filmed a tutorial for how I painted the box. I posted that in my last video, and so many of you said that you wanted to see it. So I did, and I'll be inserting that in here. Sorry, I suppose I could have done this before. Stick it all in there. I just literally have these, stop saying literally, I have these sitting in here. But here it is, and it does call for, if you see in the picture, that they're kind of raised. But I wanted to be able to put stuff in the end boxes there, not just the center. So I just mounted them all on the board. And there's the top. Okay, and I will post the tutorial for how to paint the box at the end. Love this. Okay, so here's the box. Pretty unassuming. It's just kind of basic. Has a clasp on this side. With the hinge and the lock, and then it's got 2 hinges on this side. And so before you paint, you just want to remove those. Those are just in there with small screws. Thankfully, I have an IT husband, so he has lots of computer tools that I can steal. But you can pick these up at hardware store. And honestly, if you just have a really fine, pointy Phillips screwdriver head, it'll fit right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these here, and you just want to be really careful, make sure that you don't lose the screws. You'll see that this is Hobby Lobby $7.99. The code in there. So this must be the SKU here, this number right here. It's pretty much the only one that they have like this. Now we're going to give it a quick sanding. So you have two pieces. Here's the bottom. The top is just flat, and there's a piece of glass sandwich between these trim pieces here. And you can see that I haven't even sanded it yet, and you can see kind of the debris and some of this, you see the little slivers and that are just kind of hanging on. So you do want to I just use these sponge sanding blocks for the most part, and they're great for craft projects. You can use them actually wet or dry. And before you even tape, you want to just give it a good sanding. Not super hard. You just want to, this isn't an heirloom piece. You don't need to worry about making it perfect. You just want to take off any of those little imperfections. Just these little hangy tabs like that. And it'll give this surface a nice smooth finish to adhere to. And it'll just make it look nicer. But do take the time to do this. You'll regret it if you don't. As you can see, these little pieces that just need a cleaning up. It's fast. It doesn't take much time at all. This gets a little trickier. Lots of imperfections in these. And then same thing. You want to get in there as much as you can, but don't expect a lot. And just remember that you are going to have your stitched pieces. Here are my stitch pieces. And you're going to be poking those and covering, the absolute corners and the bottom. So you really just want to worry about getting the top looking nice and as much as you can. But if you can't get way down in here, just scrape it with the flathead part of your screwdriver, and just get any of those yucky wood pieces that might be sticking up. Okay, so I'm going to finish sanding this and I'll be right back. Okay, so now you'll see I have taped both sides. This is just blue. Oh, look at that. I'm at the end of the row. This is blue 3M painter's tape. I go through lots of it. This is a very disgusting old roll. Obviously got wet. Anyways, okay, so now we're going to start the painting process. You might want to cover your work surface. This is my craft room, so I don't really care. And if a little paint gets on the surface, but I'm usually pretty careful. I like the folk art brand. You can get this at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, any of the craft stores. It is just a basic black. I use a lot of it, so I buy the bigger bottles, but they're available in the small little 2-ounce jars as well for like $1.99 or something like that. You can also get these little cups. They come in 2 or 3 packs for 99 cents. Sophie. And I'm just going to put a little in there. You can use a foam. Let me see if I have one here. So you can use these foam disposable brushes if you'd like. I find these don't hold up very well, and they tend to, well, let's just try it. I do like how the edges are beveled, so it's going to make getting into these corners much easier. So yeah, that is kind of nice. And it's got a nice broad flat surface. You don't really need to worry too much about technique. It's just about covering the surface. You want to get in all the nooks and crannies. You don't want to put on a super thick gloppy coat. Just make sure that yeah, see, it's a little tough getting into the teeny tiny corners there. But also your fabric your stitch piece is actually going to be covering that part. I just don't really prefer this as much. And then I find that they fall apart rather quickly. So I'm going to use, this is kind of just a cheap disposable brush, and I'm pretty sure I probably got it at Michael's or came in one of those brush sets. And this one is reusable. I use it a lot. And so it's as easy as this. I am going to get this painted and I'll be back. Okay, so the next step after we paint our piece and let it dry is we want to distress it. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your sanding block, pretty basic, and you're just going to hit the corners and any high points. Now you have to think about where pieces typically age. And actually, okay, so this is where the hinges are in the back. So this is the front of the piece. You don't need to really bother doing some of this, but you just kind of want to think about where the finish rubs off on pieces when they age and they get distressed. Well, it's on the edges. And you can do as little or as much. And it's very easy to do. Just, I don't know if you can really see. Pretty basic. I don't do too much in any area. I tend to hit the corners a little harder. And there. And then you're going to want to do the top as well. The other thing you can do, I'm not going to do, but you can do, is you can sand until you get a little scuff marks on the side as well. You can do the bottom. Make sure you get all the corners. Now, if you put big blobby coats of paint, it's just going to make distressing it that much harder. You could actually do the same thing with stain. If you wanted to use a wood stain, you can also distress it. Using the same method, you just put the stain on, let it, wipe off the excess, let it dry, and distress it. The other thing that you can do is you can paint layers, and I'll show you in another project someday when I get around to it. Sometimes because this wood is so light colored, sometimes I'll paint a base color, and then when I distress it and sand it off, I'll just sand it off to that base color, which is usually black. And so then when you, if you do a light color over the black and then you sand it and you get hints of black underneath, it's pretty cool. Because, in real life, if this was naturally distressed, the wood under here is actually, it's not going to be this light color. It's going to be dark because it's going to be worn. It's going to, a lot of times from drawers, it's from touching it, and it's going to be darker from the oils in your hands. But this is cute, and that's why we like it. Okay, and that is literally all we're going to have to do to it. And so next we are going to do the waxing, and I'll show you that in just a moment. All right, it is, it's day 2. I put a coat of paint on the box and the top, and then I allowed it to dry, and then I touched up where needed. Leave the tape on. The next process is equally as easy peasy. It involves the wax. There's all sorts of There are all sorts of fancy waxes out there. Just like there's fancy floss, there's fancy wax. You don't need anything fancy. All you need is a good furniture paste wax. There is a product that I've used a few times. It's ridiculously expensive. This was like a quarter of the price. And I don't know how much this is because I sent my husband to go pick it up. But not very expensive. You can get it at the hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot. Not sure if it would be like available at Target and Walmart. Probably not. You'd probably have to go to a hardware store, but it's just a general all-purpose wax. So you're just gonna pry this bad boy open. Probably be a bit easier to do if I weren't using the world's smallest screwdriver. Okay, here we are. Doesn't smell super pleasant. There are probably, I don't know if there's, I know that there is not water soluble waxes. They require cleaning with mineral spirits, so I use disposable because it's easier. Nothing to this. There's no skill involved. You just want to take a bit. You can see it does provide kind of a nice luster, a nice sheen. And you're just going to not glob it on, just put a thin layer. But like I said, no skill involved. You may want to do this outdoors with the window crack. This stuff is pretty smelly. I have not had it smell quite like this. But it smells like it actually has mineral oil in it, so you probably want to bust open a window. And it doesn't leave any marks or anything if it's wet and you set it on something, but you definitely want to protect your surfaces. This table here is actually also has a waxed finish on it. It's milk paint. It's pretty beat up. Actually, milk paint, I have found, they say it's durable. It's really not if you're using it for every day, and it will, even though I used the additive to make it really adhere. I mean, it's still pretty chippy, you can see here. So I wouldn't recommend it on pieces that are going to receive a lot of wear and tear. Okay, so that's that. And we're just going to set this to dry. And we're going to do the same thing here. And you want to just get into the corners, all the nooks and crannies. This does dry, and then if you wanted to put a different finish on it, like you could also polyurethane this. You don't have to wax it. You could also use Mod Podge, like a paper mache product. And if you're worried about chemicals, you probably wouldn't want to use this. You probably want to use something non-toxic. That's up to you. I'm not super concerned about it because I don't eat the stuff, so. Okay, I'm going to put a coat on and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. It has been about 20 minutes or so. The wax has dried. And you can see. Okay, full disclosure. I would not buy this Johnson's paste wax again. It's actually, it has a lot of fumes with it. It's really heavy smelling on the mineral oil. It does provide a nice finish. But I've used mostly Minwax in the past, and I do not remember. I wonder if the Minwax is a water-based product. But I would not recommend this. I already have a headache, and so this is not responsible for my headache, but it definitely is not helping. So use Minwax. In any case, so you put the wax coat on, and you can see, you know, if you touch it, it's will leave a little fingerprint smudge. Now what we're gonna do is you just buff it. That's as easy as it is, and then you'll get a sheen, which is really pretty, and it picks up, you know, on the raised spots. I hope you can see that. It picks up on the raised spots. Can you tell the difference there? And then in the creases, so you can tell it's a hand rubbed finish, and it's kind of nice. So you just want to lightly buff is all you're doing. And I'll just, you can kind of feel like it's a little tacky when you first start, and when you get that kind of gunky layer off, you can feel when it's buffed. Can you see the sheen difference? Probably not the glaring light. It is a little hard to tell, but so you're just going to do that on the whole piece. And on both pieces, and I'll be back. Okay, so the second box, I am really loving. So this is Mod Podge. You can see it's this is a super fun finish, and let me see. I have a box. This is a paper mache box. If you're going to the retreat, you will see this box. So this is a box, a paper mache box that I painted and paper mache'd the box. And you can, I don't know if you can kind of see, you can see some texture and some brush strokes. And it just kind of gives it, this is the antique, and it kind of gives it a vintage finish. I mean, the paper was also distressed a bit, but you can see the brush strokes, and it kind of reminds me of, like, my mother-in-law has all this furniture from the 50s. Can you see the, so it does have kind of a satiny finish, and I did distress the edges there a bit. Oh, there, you can see it. It kind of reminds me of, my mother-in-law has this furniture from like probably the 50s through the 70s, maybe more 60s. You know, the stuff they painted, the avocado green, and it was all in oil paints, and you could see the brush strokes. It just reminds me of that furniture. So it acts as a sealer. You can use it to paper mache paper. You could cover this box in paper as well if you had some like Halloween paper. You could do all sorts of fun stuff with it. It just goes on. It's like the consistency of Elmer's glue, and it's kind of what it looks like. And you will see brush strokes, so you got to be cool with that. You don't want to glob any in the corners. You just want to hit all the surfaces. This is a water base, so it cleans up with water, which is kind of nice. And it does smell a little bit, but nothing like that Johnson's wax. Once that wax dries, it's fine, but Jiminy Christmas. And so that's as easy as that is. And then you just want to let it completely dry. And this seals it. Now, in true confession here, you may have noticed in my last video, I actually forgot to distress before I put on the first layer of wax. So when I distressed it, I actually put the videos are out of order from the way I actually did them, but the raw edges should be sealed, It's not that big of a deal. Like I said, it's not an heirloom piece and it's not going to be subjected to the elements. So it should really be fine. But you do, if you forget, just run another coat of wax. And you probably could put, you know, at least a couple coats of wax on. That's what I did. I put 2 coats on. And that's generally what I do. And this, you'll want to make sure that you get all the edges. And then you just let it dry, and it dries. It's like literally like Elmer's glue, and it takes about that long to dry, and easy breezy. Okay, so I'm gonna finish doing this and the box, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is what it looks like once the inside is all Mod Podge. You can see the side is starting to dry, but it does look a little scary, but have no fear. It'll dry clear. All right, so now we'll just wait for it to dry. Okay, so this is actually day 3 of this. Teenagers and sports and school and farm have gotten in the way of getting this completed in a timely manner. Okay, so just to recap, because I don't remember where we are. This was the first box. This was done with the Johnson's Paste Wax that's over here. Johnson's Paste Wax. And the other one, the second one that I did, and so this is all done. Hardware is put back on. There's our inside, lightly distressed, waxed. Very pretty. Still a faint kind of waxy smell. Definitely when you open the box. Like I said, I wouldn't use that again. The sheen and everything is equivalent to the Minwax, but the smell is, it's like just kind of beyond. And I keep saying mineral oil, not mineral oil, mineral spirits. That's kind of definitely the smell, what it smells like. Otherwise, beautiful finish. I'm sure it's going to be very durable. Very pretty. Really like this. Okay, and then the second one, I literally just walked up here. This one, can I say literally one more time? So obnoxious. Okay, this one, the seal I put on this one was Mod Podge. This is the antique finish. It's called Antique Matte. It's not matte. It's actually more of a satin finish. I really, really like this. It kind of is reminiscent of like a hand rubbed, or I just really like it. I don't know if you'll be able to really tell a difference between the two. But this is great, great, great for paper mache. By the way, as this is the only time I have to do this, my husband's going to be home in less than an hour with my son, and then I got to do dinner and chores and all that. But I have not had time to get this done, and what I'd really like to be doing right now is watching McKenna and Michelle on Instagram live at the Stitchy store. But that's just not going to happen right now. And, okay, I will worry about that later, but let's get this off so you can see. I'm going to take this tape off. I'm going to put the hardware back on, and when it's all put back together, I will show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, so there we have the finish. The glass is really dirty, but turned out very nice. And you can see there. It's pretty representative of what it looks like. So waxed finished is here, and this is the Mod Podge finish. And on the front. The nature of the Mod Podge really does give it kind of a vintagey feel too. But this, you can see that when you see it, it's real shiny on the raised areas of the wood. I mean, the finish, it is beautiful. I really like how that works. So now all I have to do is put my stitched pieces in, which you've likely already seen in the video, which I've yet to record, but I'm going to do that now. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed that tutorial. I'm glad I finally got it done. So I just wanted to show you as well. So again, here is the finished piece. Casting a Spell, Blackbird Designs. Here's the cover. Really cute. The back, there is additional 2 pin cushions, and essentially it's the 2 end pieces that are stitched as one piece and turned into little pin cushions. Isn't that cute? Let me show you the bottom one. Adorable. So this is super fun. I love it. Loads and loads of fun. Just something other than just pin cushions and framing things. So I like doing that. Okay, and I only have a few minutes. This video is, my camera is being naughty. So I just wanted to share with you, I have not been sprinkled with stitchy kindness. I've been hosed down like a fire hose with it. And I appreciate it so much. I love all of you that take the time to comment. It's certainly, obviously sending me things are not necessary, but I love that this community is so giving, and I'm really enjoying watching everyone receive things from other stitchers, and it's loads of fun. It makes you feel super special, and yeah, so I can't thank those of you enough who've taken the time to message me on Instagram, anything. It's just really appreciative and or appreciated, and I really have enjoyed doing YouTube videos. So the first thing I received, this is from Kim, and Kim is, I'm pretty sure on Instagram, she's MSU Writer. I will post a picture of her Instagram account here. She messaged me. So this was so bizarre because Emily from Eclectic Possessions had messaged me the night before and said, hey, have you seen this chart? It's super cute and it made me think of you. And it was this sampler with goats in it. And I said, yeah, actually, I have seen it, and it is super cute. And Kim had messaged me and said that she wanted to send me something and said, I hope you don't already have it. And I said, if you hadn't seen it on a video, I don't have a ton of stash. So if you haven't seen it on a video, I probably don't have it. So she said, okay, I'm going to buy it and have it sent directly to you. So I had this conversation with Emily, and the next day, this chart that we were talking about arrived in the mail, and I was so confused because we had just been talking about it. I knew Kim was sending me something, but I mean, hello, I love it. I love everything about it, but it is the most ridiculously adorable thing. And the goats, they're bucks. They're all bucks, and they're just so stinking cute. I can't stand it. I mean, they might not be bucks, but they remind me of bucks. And so this looks like an Oberhasli, an Alpine, and then 2 Nubians. I mean, how adorable. I love everything about this. Thank you so much, Kim. It is the cutest thing ever. I am going to chart. I have Nubians and Sonnen, so I'm gonna do this one solid white like a Sonnen, and then do this one like this. But how cute. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna maybe do the house in red because my house is red. But my barn is white, so love everything about this. Thank you so much. So cute. So I'm really looking forward to starting that. And then I have this. First of all, Amanda, who is Ampu-Stitcher on Instagram, and I believe her YouTube channel name is also Amanda-Ampustitcher. I'll link her channel below. She messaged me and said that she had a Just Cross Stitch magazine that had something in it that she thought I might like. It was Darlene Osteen pattern, and asked if she could send it to me. And I was like, well, that's very kind of you. Of course you can. And so it arrived in the mail in this. How fantastic. This is like my new favorite project bag. It's gigantic. It holds so much stuff. And I love it. And how cute is the little bandanas? I love it so much. And I know she's making these because she's just got a sewing machine and she's learning to sew. I love this so much, Amanda. I love it. I about cried when I opened it, and it was stuffed, chocked full of goodies. I have like a bunch of my stuff in here now, and this fits so much stuff. I love it. So she sent me not one, but she sent me several magazines. These are, oh, golden oldies from the early 80s. This was before I even started stitching. And then she took the time, this is my favorite right here, she took the time to put tags in here so of things that she thought I might like. And I can't even tell you, look at this. That's right, another goatee. I love this. And this is so representative of the breeds at the time, and their mammaries have changed so much in 30 years, 40 years, 40 years? No. 30 years. But the mammaries have changed so much. But this is what a dairy goat used to look like. And I just love it. I am also a dairy goat historian. I really love like vintage genetics, and I'm totally stitching this. I love it. And these are so fantastic. This one I love. I'm totally stitching this. Okay, and there's just a ton of charts in here that that I just love, and I am so thankful for it. Thank you so much, Amanda. I love these. I love them. And I love it. I sit in bed at night and just look through these. There's so many cool ones. This totally reminds me of a Kathy Barrick, doesn't it? It's so pretty. So I'm super, and actually I have this pattern right here. This is a Crosswing collection. This is like out of my original stash from the early 90s, and I have that one. Love it, love it, love it. So thank you, and oh, this is my favorite. I love it so much. So thanks, Amanda. Okay, and as if that wasn't enough, Kathleen from Kathleen's Trodden Trail sent me, oh my gosh. Okay, so I showed in one video, and we have messaged back and forth about it. Many years ago, I had started, this is a reindeer. I don't know if you can see that. The white is the reindeer, the red is the background. And I had started this, and this is actually done with yarn. And I did have it too tight. I know a bunch of people have said that to steam it, and no, I had it too tight. The whole thing was like curled over. It was beyond tight. Because I went like in every other hole through the whole thing, and it was too much. So her and I have messaged back and forth, and she's like, I'll send you some stuff. And I was like, you really don't have to do that? Well, this big, huge box arrived. By big, huge, I mean, this is the wool strips that she sent me. And she sent me, all of these books. And then she sent me, which I don't have them all up here, I just have the one that I'm working on, which I've also posted on Instagram. So these are little, so this is how some of these patterns come. This one, the reindeer, I bought a booklet and then had to, it had the pattern and I had to trace it onto here. And these apparently come like this. So this is a little different to me. They're already on here. And there's the tag and the picture of what it looks like. And these, so this is very amateurish. But there's my first rug hooking. It's a little coaster. It's like a coffee mug coaster. And it's not great, but I did it. And I really enjoyed it. She also sent me these, well, first of all, okay, this is the hook, the box that I had that I was telling her about, because she asked me if I had a hook, and I said yes, and it took me a while to find it, but I found it, and this is, and there was actually a rug hooking, this is terrible, but it's used specifically for yarn, so this would not have worked. Got a slit up here, you run your yarn through here, and then you actually work from the back with this one. It's almost like punch needle for yarn. But so I told her she didn't need to send me a hook, but she sent one anyways, and I was grateful she did. And this is beautiful, and this is fantastic. And you really can't rug hook without this bad boy. And it's got like a pretty thick shaft it widens the hole so that you can pull the strips through. And this is, yeah, fantastic. Kathleen, I can't even thank you enough. I'm like beside myself. Okay, and then these books. Okay, the first one, I don't have it down here I don't have it up here because it's in my bedroom because I've been reading it. It is the greatest book ever. I'll insert a picture of it here. If you're interested in rug hooking, this is for sure worth the purchase. It's phenomenal. I'm reading it cover to cover, and she talks about some of the rugs, how she designs them, how she decides to, she shows pictures of rugs and the stories behind it. It's fantastic. She's an instructor and just fantastic. Can't say enough about it. She sent me these. So these are all, and I actually haven't looked through these two yet. This book or this book, because I'm reading the other one cover to cover. And this magazine, I'm pretty sure that these are fairly current. So, well, 2013. So I'm not sure if this is available anymore, but this is, I've been looking through these. These are very interesting. Loads of fun. So she sent me just a bunch of them. How cute is that? Cute. And this one. And this one. Okay, and then some of these magazines. I have 4 minutes. This is the most my phone is going to let me record, but this is Primitive Quilts and Projects. And these are really cool too. And these are even more current. There are some that are, this is spring 2017. And there are really cute, this I love. I'm going to get a subscription to this. This has stitching, rug hooking, and quilting. I mean, it's like the trifecta of needleworkers. And this one I really, really enjoy. So, totally getting this one. It's got primitive quilt designs, just small little projects. Love that. I have had a lot of magazines in my day. I've never even heard of this one, so I was super excited. Oh, Kathleen, I cannot thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. This has been so much fun. I can't wait to have a little bit more time to do it, but we're going to Skype, and she's going to help me out with some of the issues that I'm having and just make sure, give me some tips and tricks. And, wow, I just can't believe she sent me all this. It was so super nice and kind and generous. Doesn't surprise me about her. That's just kind of the person that she is. But so I'm just so incredibly grateful, and I can't wait. Next time you see me, I'll have gotten this one complete too, and then I'll have to figure out how to finish these bad boys. But they're so cute. I just love them. Oh, and she also sent me in the package. She sent me, there was so much stuff in that box. She sent me one that she had done, that she had hooked as just kind of an example. And boy, if you are interested in rug hooking and can find someone to do that for you, that was kind of a saving grace, because you can really see how she hooks and what the back looks like. It's really kind of invaluable. And it's so adorable. I cried when I opened that box. I couldn't believe it. You know, it's just something, it's so nice when someone takes the time to send you something that they've made, and to have a hand. To me, it's just, I don't know. I mean, when someone takes the time to make something and then they send it to you, and I love handmade things like you wouldn't believe, like the bag, and I mean, I just love it. I love it, love it, love it. I love anything that, well, because you're a crafter, you guys get it. But I'm going to insert a picture of the rug, the little rug that she sent me. It's so cute, and I'm using it as a mouse pad so I can appreciate it every day. And thank you, Kathleen. I love you. Big hugs to you. And so, yeah, I'm going to get on this. She sent me a couple other things. One is like this flag. It's, I want to get a little bit better before I do it. Because I really like that one. And I'm super excited to do it. So, okay, so hopefully, oh, giveaway. I'm actually going to give away this pattern, not my pattern, but I'm going to give away this pattern and the second box that I painted. So you'll get your own copy of this and this box. This is for my 2,000 subscribers and my Stitchiversary, which was in August. So what can we do? Let's see. Comment below. Would you rather have a fantastic fabric stash or a fantastic floss stash? And just comment below, and I know that you'll want to be entered to win the box and to stitch your own Casting a Spell. And contact me if you're interested in the retreat. Few spots available. Hope to see you there. It's going to be a great time. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, thanks for your comments. I can't even tell you how much they mean to me that you take the time to leave me a comment, to click like. I am horrendously behind in watching Flosstube, but I love your videos.